Alright. My goal for today's stream, said 7 hours into it, is to complete the metal research, or at least get to the point where I have 10 refined ingots. Which I'm fairly certain is like the peak of smithery. Losing a lot of frames. I lost connection in a long time. We're struggling. All of us in a pile. I thought now would be like a great time for nobody to be playing. Oh. But then again, the Empire nearby here. Ooh, we've got 2 empires here. Is that a lot? I wonder how many empires the other regions have. But I know the Ottoman Empire happens to be Australian, or at least led by an Australian. So maybe, like, we're just in that oceanic time zone here. Empire dreams. I am dreaming of my empire. Like, first we need a settlement. Then I have no idea how long the grind is after that to get an empire. This guy took him 7 hours to get a settlement, and then 17 hours to get an empire. So it wasn't very instant after that. So if it takes us 40 hours to get a settlement, then it'll take another 70, 60 get an empire? I don't know. Whatever. It'll happen. Once the settlement comes, then the people will come. They'll have like a little totem for all strangers to migrate towards, you know? Right. So we got more ingots. These are still cooking. What do I need for refined ingots again? Fish oil. No, metal solvent. Oh. Ugh. It's gonna be tricky. What do I need? Metal solvent. Was everything, right? I need 10 buckets of water. So I need glass. I think I got some sand somewhere along the way. Right now we just heavily focus on the ingots and worry about the glass later. I don't know, it's looking pretty choppy over here. Wouldn't mind moving to a different location. Let's see. So I will need stripped logs, but I'm using all the logs I'm getting to cook ingots. Yeah. You need to get a cart out there. Drag some new trees back here. Then we can go crazy down that path. That will give us a quarter of the things we need. For the life of you can't figure out how to deploy your cart. Okay, press V. It'll take you to your closet. You go to deploys. Cart will be there. You have it in your vault. You've just been vibing and crafting. Yeah. And then you right click on that, click deploy. Then you just like select where on the ground you want to drop it. Shift V is the fastest way. Shift V. I don't think that deployed my cart. Oh, there it goes. I selected an empty place on the ground. And there's my cart. Can I shift V to store it? Oh, that's so nice. You don't have the knowledge to. Okay, well, somewhere in your quest, what you did was you got a deed to build a cart. And I don't think you used the deed for the cart. You might have to take the deed for the cart to like the scholar workstation maybe. By the way, thanks Branch, that was super helpful. Shift V. Nice. I'll make things so much easier. Alright, where's the woodworker? Out that way, maybe? Just plugging away on this smithing, aren't we? It's gonna give me another 10 ingots. Another 6 cooking, so I need 15 more. That's right, and I think maybe I get a lot of the ferrolith juice from a single node. So I think like one more stack of ore should do me. In the meantime, I want that wood. Overthinking. We get all the ore first. Then we'll worry about everything else. Smart about it. Do need a tree though. Like even if we had the ore, we would need the tree. Alright. It just dawned on me, we never got like our bread or our strawberry pies out of the oven. I'm glad they don't like burn. Sorry, I said I'm glad they don't burn, but I don't actually know if they do or not. You get all the raw resources first. Already have 100 stone chunks, but your food is starting to run low. Yeah. we started to try to like take a food break, like to just get some good food stacked up. We have a recipe for fish sticks, and I was trying to like find the ocean fish. When I don't know if you were watching for that part, but we like traveled all the way around here until our game froze here. Or our character froze. The game was still running. We were able to teleport back home. But I could not find the ocean marlin. And I think that's, or at least I've read that you have to go into the deep water, so I need a raft. Yeah, that's what Branch is saying. But if we could make the fish sticks, then we could get like the crafting and gathering speed boost, which would be so nice. I would like to be a fish stick guy. Like, not only do we have the recipe for fish sticks, we've got the recipe for deluxe fish sticks. I should be making like nothing but those. Let's see. Check the cart storage. We're plugging away. Honestly, like, we haven't done a lot of heavy focus on like building the settlement. And part of that is I want everyone else to have plenty of time to like drop their settlements. And so like the heavily committed players like don't drop right next to me and like immediately engulf me. Like once we see where all the settlements are, we can find like a nice place out of the way. And I'm thinking like over here. There's all this continent over here. I hear there's a nice pine forest over in the area. Go over there and everyone can come to us for pine trees and pine sap. So that they can make, I don't know, maple syrup. Alright, stop. Guess it's not maple syrup if you use pine sap. I don't know what you would use pine sap for. I imagine you can make a syrup, but it probably doesn't taste good. Where? It's the carpentry hut. So curious what this game's gonna look like in a week. Will there be no one in the starter area? Probably still a ton of people, right? We need to go to the forestry crafting. Can't wait to have a claim so you can find the tables easy. Yeah. What am I making? Rough tree bark output. That's not it. I want the rough logs. Right? I think that's what I want. Store the cart. Get off of that guy. You don't have to stack up. You'll still be in town in a week. We'll stay there until you finish with tier 2. Yeah. So, the job I'm focusing on, or there's a good chance I'm going to do every job, just because, like, building a town takes so much. And it's hard to get people to commit to the cause when there's, like, no rallying point. Like, I'm just gonna make sure I'm blacksmithy enough to make lots of tier 2 tools for everybody. Rough logs are fuel if that's what I wanted. I'm actually, yeah, I am going to use some rough logs for fuel. Many as I need. But I also need stripped wood to make planks so I can make buckets, so I can make water buckets. Because to make the refined ingots, I need rough pebbles, glass vials, water buckets, and citric berries. And so, yeah, I'm focusing on the metal part, the metal research right now. In case anyone doesn't know what it takes to make a settlement, basically need to research, well, all of the things, really. Get these rough logs. Do I have things growing? I don't. That's right, I ran out of... Ooh, but I did have things cooking. I left the stove on. Got all the bread in the world. And berry pies. It's gonna make sandwiches. There. And now I'll be fed. Like, it's combat food, but, you know, it's also one of the easier foods to make. Just because you always have a ton of meat. Or... I keep making statements as if the game's been out for a long time. Assume lots of people have. There's Gerude of the Gerude Kingdom. I think we just saw an emperor walk by. Or is he just a king? I don't know how this works. Alright, we got sandwiches. What do pies give you a boost too? Oh, movement. Nice. Alright. Just gonna dump the fish, the raw meat, the amber, the tree sap in here. Oh, and the bark. I don't have ore chunks. I do have fertilizer in there. Okay. I could keep cooking bread if I wanted to. I think we're pretty good. I should have taken my cloth and sword stuff out into the ocean so I could have dropped them. And I know I can just drop them anywhere, but like I don't want to make the starter area any laggier than it already is, you know? It's just courtesy to dump all your garbage in the ocean. It can't hurt anybody. Did he have a crown on? He didn't have a crown on. He just had a cape. Which, does that make him an officer? Or maybe like capes are a craftable item? You think your tutorial vanished and you have to relog? That's what happened, you think? Interesting. I have heard about that, like people losing, not losing their tutorial, but like it was some easily solvable problem like that. Not an emperor then? Yeah.